Hello, I'm Sarah Moulton, an urban planner with the National Capital Planning Commission. NCPC's 10th Street Corridor Task Force has kicked off an initiative to advance recommendations from the Monumental Core Framework Plan and transform the 10th Street and Maryland Avenue corridors into a more sustainable community. As the task force's first step is to document the study area as it is today, let's go take a look at the existing conditions along 10th Street. Let me ask you a quick question. Would you believe me if I told you that the walk from the Smithsonian Castle to Banneker Park is the same distance as the castle to the Museum of the American Indian? It sure doesn't feel like it, but it is. Both trips take about 10 to 15 minutes to walk, but right now the National Mall and the waterfront feel like they're worlds apart. Currently, there are a number of physical and psychological barriers that isolate Banneker Park and the southwest waterfront from the city and the National Mall. Let's go take a look and see what we can find along 10th Street. Walking from the Smithsonian Castle south to the waterfront, our first stop is the Forestal Complex that houses the U.S. Department of Energy headquarters. This complex and the surrounding area encompasses about 20 acres and supports lower density office buildings with large setbacks, service parking lots, and the ramps that bring commuters into the city. These buildings were constructed in the late 1960s and are representative of the modernist era. This complex includes an elevated structure that spans across 10th Street and blocks views to and from Banneker Park and the National Mall. 10th Street, which is also known as the L'Enfant Promenade, features nearly 200 feet of space between building faces, a wide expanse of pavement, a lack of amenities, and minimal tree canopy. All of this contributes to an unwelcoming pedestrian environment. Moving to the next stop along 10th Street, the CSX rail line supports the adjacent transportation infrastructure that also includes the Virginia Railway Express Station and the L'Enfant Plaza Metro Station. Together, this important transit node serves more than 50,000 public and private sector employees. This area also includes the U.S. Postal Service headquarters and is home to the L'Enfant Plaza development. Designed by IMP in the 1960s, this complex provides space for public and private offices and is home to the Lowe's L'Enfant Plaza Hotel. However, the area's urban form and land use mix does not support public amenities and vibrant street life during or after work hours. Last stop, the freeway in Banneker Park. Here, 10th Street spans 13 lanes of I-395 traffic to reach Banneker Park and 7 acres of open space connecting the corridor to the southwest waterfront. The freeway, along with its access roads and ramps, are a significant barrier to the waterfront. The noise, extremely narrow sidewalks, decaying infrastructure, and absence of trees creates an uncomfortable pedestrian environment and yet another barrier on our trip between the mall and the waterfront. About a half mile from the National Mall, we're finally at Banneker Park, a symbolic terminus on axis with the Smithsonian Castle and an important pivotal point to extend the civic nature of the National Mall to East Potomac Park. This park is identified in NCPC's Memorials and Museums Master Plan as one of the 20 most significant sites for a future national museum or memorial. Named for Benjamin Banneker, an accomplished African-American surveyor and mathematician that helped to survey Washington in the late 1700s, the park dead ends with vehicular ramps and dirt paths created by workers heading down to the waterfront for lunch. It's now time to act to meet the needs of Washington's expanding city center and plans for a new destination waterfront. The 10th Street Corridor Task Force is working to reduce environmental impacts, encourage mixed-use retail, office, and residential opportunities, and reconnect the southwest waterfront and the National Mall. What once was just a place to work and pass through could transform into a destination to live, work, and play. You can help shape the future of the 10th Street Corridor. For more information on the project, upcoming public meeting dates, and contact information to give us your ideas, please visit our website at www.ncpc.gov.